Heather is a mean character. There's just no other way to put it. She was a formidable antagonist created for Season 1, and still continues to be the one character who never quite fits in with the rest of the cast, mostly because no one trusts her track record. If manipulation, lying and gaslighting were the name of her game, then she would be the queen of deception, running circles around the rest of the cast. Though we've got to wonder whether there's more to Heather's character than just being mean. Is she a true villainess in every sense of the word, or is she just misunderstood teen, whose bad reputation overshadows her lesser-known complexities? Let's dive into the world according to Heather. If Heather's character had a baseline, manipulation and strategy would be her signature nature. Driven by competitiveness and a desire to win it all, she prioritizes nothing above her one true goal of the competition: money. Unlike her fellow competitors who were busy forming friendships, romances, and even relationships, Heather was not interested in the slightest. Outside of using flirting as a strategy, she was too single-minded to deal with romance like the other campers. Besides her main priority of winning her way to victory, she did not care about anything else. Not friends, not enemies, not even boys. In fact, Heather is shown to be especially deceptive towards her admirers. Specifically, Duncan. I've lost track of how many times she's pulled one over him in just the first season, but his temporary infatuation paired with his oversized ego was a prime target for her honey trap. After Season 1 and Heather's disastrous elimination, we see the fruits of her labor in Season 2, or rather, the fruits of her manipulation. She becomes an outcast in every sense of the word, being the one no one wants to share a bed with, and the loner no one sits with. Sure, she is receiving her comeuppance for all the scheming she did in the previous season, but this time, we see a different side to her. When Beth and Lindsay avoid her in the cafeteria, she actually looked hurt, as if their reaction had not been anticipated. For whatever reason, she had expected them to still treat her like a friend in some capacity, showing a rather naive side to her that seems rather out of place with the cold-hearted schemer we were familiar with from the first season. Now, Heather seems less untouchable, shedding her villainous image from Season 1 for a more subdued version of her. She isn't actively manipulating people or causing the same amount of hurt she did in Season 1, rather, she's starting to form friendships with the others, showing goofier sides to her we hadn't seen before. By the time Season 3 comes around, Heather is still being avoided like the plague. No one trusts her, but she seems to roll with it, choosing to do her own thing and keep her eye on the prize. The addition of Alejandro unlocks a new side to her this season, showing that she can still fall in love while actively working to undermine him at every turn. As enemies to lovers, her relationship with Alejandro was rather refreshing as she could start the slate clean with someone who could appreciate her manipulative nature. He did not get mad at her whenever she one-upped him. Instead, he showed her respect, recognizing that she was just playing the game. Her tactics were more strategic than personal. More often than not, her trickery was not motivated by personal feelings, but by her belief that it was a necessary strategy to get her closer to the finish line. Like Alejandro, Sierra was another breed of crazy not found in the Season 1 roster. As another character Heather could form a connection with without the baggage of a past personal vendetta, Sierra became the closest thing Heather had to a best friend in World Tour. Sure, it was a temporary friendship that crumbled with Alejandro's manipulation, but it was a welcome change to see Heather looking out for a girl on the team. The finale showed Heather at her strongest, proving that keeping her eye on the prize does pay off, tricking Alejandro who was blindsided by his feelings for her. Here, World Tour was Heather's season. It was the only season she won through not being a good person, but by being the worst person possible. Showing that sometimes, being mean pays off. Unlike the other characters, who operate on a more standard moral compass, Heather's taste in serving justice may be the most satisfying yet. While she has, and always will be a mean girl, I think her unorthodox methods of securing victory against a villain objectively worse than her has earned her redemption in my books.